family, we're glad that you can join us today. We know we're a little bit late, but it's fitting to this title. Today, family, we're talking about when Satan attacks. He tried to stop this message, attack this message, stopped it from getting it out.
Right.
But we like, you know what? We're going to keep powering through.
Exactly.
We're going to keep pushing through.
Yes. This was an important message, so we was like, we definitely have to do this message.
Right. Yeah, family, because he like, Satan was like, you're not about to expose my tactics. The things that I do,
right.
I'm going to shut it down. But we like, nah, we're going to keep pushing through. Y'all say he gave us the power to trample over demons, family.
Yes.
So there's no need for us to fear. I mean, we're going to go deep today, family.
Yes.
When we were studying this during the week, Sister Abby had kind of pointed the story out to me, and I was reading it. I'm like, wow, this is deep.
Right.
This is deep. When we're gonna go in one of the books that's not in the scriptures, family, the book of Jasher. We're gonna read a chapter of that today. So it's gonna be deep, family. But before we jump into that, we just want to share with you that we came out with the DVD for the documentary from Joshua to Jesus. Finally got that accomplished. And why did we put it on DVD since it's already on the internet for free? Why did we put it on DVD? Somebody might be asking that.
Well, the reason why we put it on DVD is because we had other brothers and sisters who were reaching out to us and asking us if they can purchase it on DVD. And so we actually, as you can see, Brother Rasha put it out there, and he put it out there so that people can watch it free of charge. But it does cost and everything, to get these things done, get them created and everything. As you can see, we have the label on it and everything. So these things do cost, and we have to have it shipped here.
Right.
We just being honest. And so we had brothers and sisters, they reached out to us and asking us, are you guys going to be coming out with with some DVDs, because we want to purchase it. And so we did it for that cause. And at the same time, none of us know when this technology thing is going to just completely go away. We don't know what's going to happen with our channel in the near future or later on down the line. But, we are starting to see things happen with people's channels right now who are in the truth, who are speaking truth. So it's important for us to be able to also have these types of things. And many of you, I'm sure you have seen the documentary already and seen how valuable the information is. So it's good. It's good for us to have it, within, I would say, what would you say, like on our, I don't know if you call it bookshelf,
right? Just have a physical copy,
right? A physical copy stored somewhere,
right? Something
that you can pass down from generation to generation. Exactly. Hopefully the world's still here, y'all willing, but you'll have that for a keepsake. And just in case anything happens when it comes to technology, or if the information be removed in the future, at least you'll have a physical copy that you have for yourself. You don't have to worry about anything happening on social media.
Right.
And while I'm saying that, I just don't want to forget. I want to mention to you all, we mentioned before, to follow us on Rumble if you are on Rumble. We are on Rumble too. Again, we're saying that because nobody knows what's going to happen in the future with this platform. But Rumble, if you all are on Rumble, then you'll know that it's more, what can we say? It's not as
strict.
Right. It's not as strict. So if you're not on Rumble, we encourage you to go get on Rumble and you all follow us on Rumble. Just in case, we'll have that platform as well if we need it in the future.
Right. All true. And like you said, it's important for us to have physical copies of things, because if you saw our the video we shot during the week about the leave the world behind, how the world is training us to be hooked on this technology, then when they're going to take it away, we're not going to know what to do with ourselves. So it's good to have these books, get you physical books of things, because this information on the internet, what the man said in the movie, he's like, I don't have my phone, I'm lost.
Right.
So we got to have these things. So that's why we put it together. And I'll admit too, just the feedback that we've gotten from the documentary, it really touches Sister Abiyah and I both. We have a few of these testimonials on the video. This a woman said, this documentary was astonishing. I cried halfway through.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. I mean, a couple of the people said that. So it's just important to have a physical copy of this stuff. And then, like Sister Abby, I said, sharing it with our family, passing this down for generations. Because
those who have ears to hear.
Because these platforms, we playing by their rules, family. So they can, like Sister Abby, I said, they can shut it down at any time because something we said that they don't like. So
and at the same time too, we have to remember that we're fighting a war against good and evil, and so eventually a lot of voices is going to be silence. Yes, when it comes to this truth.
Speaking of when Satan attacks,
So this is why we starting to put out these types of messages, because as you all know, if you've been watching us for a while, we focus more on spiritual things. We focus more on the heart, you know, the heart of a man, because we know that everybody can go in the Word and study the Word for themselves, develop a personal relationship with Yah. And, you know, let Yah guide them in how He wants them to serve Him in spirit and truth. And Yah show you that. That's something that we've learned. Yah show you that. That way you don't be deceived by man. Because when you study the Word for yourself and then you hear a man speak the Word, you'll know, okay, I studied my Word, so I get what they're saying. But at the same time, you're not going to know everything. And sometimes your brethren, you know, your brother or sister, they may know some things a little more than you. That's okay too. But you're going to already done train your mind to still go in the Word to confirm things, just to make sure that those things are factual, you know. And so I just wanted to say that, but it's important for us to just be on guard, and we like to talk about the spiritual things. So this is what this is going to be about today. We're going after the spiritual things, you all, because this is really a spiritual war. As the scripture says, we don't battle against flesh and blood. It says spirits and principalities and high places. This is the real battle. The stuff that we cannot physically see, because we see people, right? And when we look at people, we want to believe every single person is genuine. Right. But a lot of times people be having demons in them.
Exactly.
Or they're being influenced by demons.
Right. Absolutely.
You know, if they are believers, sometimes that can happen too.
Absolutely. But no, we just wanted to share it with you guys on the website. We got the link in the description. Thank you all for the feedback who've watched it. Thank you all who've already purchased it. I know a lot of you have purchased it already, so we thank you all. And we just want to share that with you guys. And so let's dive into it. When Satan attacks. Boy, when he attacks, family. And we can't talk enough about this because, family, Satan is relentless. He will not stop. And what I learned from this story, this lesson, is that this has been going on since the beginning. Since Adam, really, but since Abraham. We're going to talk about Abraham today. So let's dive into it. We talking about Abraham, family. When you read the book of Genesis, it talks about when he went to sacrifice his son Isaac. Genesis chapter 22. But it doesn't really go into detail. It talks about bits and pieces. But if you go in the book of Jasher, family, this is written by Jerry Twitchell. Jerry Twitchell, family. Book of Jasher. You can see his name. It goes more into detail about some of the biblical stories. And this particular one is about Abraham and when he went to sacrifice Isaac.
Yep, and also the book of Jasher. You want to mention about the secret too, because we have multiple books. If you've seen our book on
the video,
not our book. If you've seen our video on the different books that you can use, like Bibles that you can use to study.
Yeah, because a lot of people have been asking about that lately.
Right.
What Bible we reading from.
Right, and we have a video on that talks about the different books and stuff that we read from. And
that's in the description also.
Right, we give some advice, so you might want to check that out. But we also want to say too that the Sefer that Brother Rashad just put up, they also have the book of Jasher in it.
Right.
So you can use either one, you know. But the Sefer, if you decide that you want to get a Sefer, if you don't have one yet, we will have a link in the description where you can go directly and purchase a Sefer on their site. And you can just you can access it through the link in our description if you like. But
and what's good about the Sefer is, like you said, it has all these different books. A lot of lost books. The book of Jasher. It has Enoch in it. All these different books. So it's a good resource to have, family.
Now, we don't go just on the Sefer because we have to remember that man has written the Sefer too. You know, so you know,
so they'll put their twist in it too.
Everybody put a little of their twist into it because, well, I don't want to go into deep details, but I'm gonna just say, man has also created the Sefer too. So we're not saying that it's not a good collection, it's not a good book to have, but you also want to compare your different books. Don't just say because I got a Sefer that's
100%
right, 100%. Because man has created the Sefer too.
Absolutely. So we're going to read from the book of Jasher. And again, we're reading from chapter 23. And this goes into deep detail about when Abraham went to sacrifice Isaac. And something that I learned, you know, when you hearing about Abraham sacrificing Isaac, you see the story with him having the knife over him and he was just going to kill him. But if you really think about it, he was going to burn him. He was going to burn his son, family. He was going to be a burnt offering.
I didn't even know what that meant at first. That's the thing. Because you know, like how you can read the scriptures multiple times, but each time you get more out of it. And then sometimes too, when you read certain verses, you are not you know, you're reading it from that understanding where you are in your walk at that time. But as you continue to grow in your walk and you go back and you read a scripture, then now you see it with, you know, with more, what would you call it?
More insight.
Right. That's the perfect word. With more insight. And that's what happened with me. Because even with the book of Jasher, I was talking to Brother Rasha about the book of Jasher, and I only read a few verses. Well, he went and took it a step further, and I guess he got so hooked. He said, I'm going to read this whole thing. And then he started telling me about it, and I'm like, what? That's in there? Because like years ago, I believe I read some, you know, like some of the book of Jasher, but I don't remember everything. Like if you don't read something for a long time, you can forget some of the stuff you've read. So that, I know that what you shared with me, I didn't remember that. I don't even know if I read that. But it was deep. And this is what we want to share with you on today. Very deep.
Yeah, I just want to share this right quick. Genesis 22 verse 2, it talks about it. Which, like you said, you read the Bible 100 times and you don't see something. Because a lot of times we have an image stuck in our head of what was going to happen. It says, then he said, take now your son, your only son Isaac, whom you love, and go to the land of Moriah, and offer him there as a burnt offering on one of the mountains of which I shall tell you.
I didn't know what he meant by burnt offering.
His son.
Wow. Oh, and it said burnt offering, but again, when I read that years ago, I wasn't thinking that deep. Like, what is a burnt offering? Like you said, it went over my head.
So
I just thought offering.
Family. Not just kill your son, but offer him as a burnt
offering.
Wow. So Abraham was faithful. I see why all the Israelites came. His seed was multiplied because he was faithful. He was going to offer his only son as a burnt offering, family.
It's amazing how strong his belief was. It's amazing.
Exactly. How many of us can say we have a belief like that?
We praying for some Abraham belief. Oh my goodness. It was just so strong. It was powerful. It was, I mean, nothing could shake him.
And this is what we're going to get. So let's dive into it, family. Book of Jasher, chapter 23. And if y'all don't have any of these books, just follow along. It's going to take us a minute to read it, but it's so deep. Y'all just bear with us.
It's worth it.
It's worth it. There's so many lessons in this. Talking about when Satan attacks. What are you going to do, family? Are you going to fold like a cheap suit? Give up? Or you going to have the faith like Abraham, like his belief, like what Sister Abigail said. So let's dive into it. So verse 1 says, at the time the word of Yahuwah came to Abraham, and he said unto him, Abraham. And he said, here I am. And he said to him, take now thy son, thine only son, whom thou lovest, even Isaac, and go to the land of Moriah, and offer him there for a burnt offering upon one of the mountains which shall be shown to thee. For there wilt thou see a cloud and the glory of Yahuwah. And Abraham said within himself, how shall I separate my son Isaac from Sarah his mother, in order to bring him up for a burnt offering before Yahuwah? Now you see, the scriptures didn't talk about that. He like, yeah, how I'm gonna get him from his mama? His mama love him so much. Verse 4 says, and Abraham came into the tent, and he sat before Sarah his wife, and he spoke these words to her. My son Isaac is grown up, and he has not for some time studied the service of his Elohim. Now tomorrow I will go and bring him to Shem and Eber his son, and there he will learn the ways of Yahuwah, for they will teach him to know Yahuwah, as well as to know that when he prayeth continually before Yahuwah, he will answer him. Therefore, there he will know the way of servicing Yahuwah his Elohim. Serving his Yahuwah his Elohim. So he's telling Sarah, he's like, I'm bringing him to his grandfather, his great grandfather. Yep, Shem. Where he gonna learn the ways of Yah. They gonna teach him. That's deep, fam.
Yeah,
that goes back to the scriptures when it says that you're gonna teach my statutes and commandments to generations.
Wow. Amazing.
That's deep, family. Verse 6, and Sarah said, thou hast spoken well. Go, my master, and do unto him as thou hast said. But remove him not at a great distance from me. Neither let him remain there too long, for my soul is bound within his soul. And Abraham said unto Sarah, my daughter, let us pray to Yahuwah our Elohim, that he may do good with us. And Sarah took her son Isaac, and he abode all that night with her. And she kissed and embraced him, and gave him instructions till morning. So y'all see that, family? Is going deep into the story. How, and what I'm getting from this too, you probably can speak on this. This is the power of a mother's love. This was her only son.
Right.
And she's like, if you take him there with you, do not let him leave your sight.
I think mamas feel like that for all of their children.
Right.
So I can just imagine her only son.
Exactly. And especially she had him at 90 years old.
Exactly. Exactly. So she was very protective
right.
over him. I can understand that.
Let's continue reading. And she said to him, O my son, how can my soul separate itself from thee? And she still kissed him and embraced him. And she gave Abraham instructions concerning him. So Sarah, like, I do not want to depart with my son.
Abraham, let me tell you, I got something to tell you.
What?
I got some instructions for you, husband.
What? Like, follow the list. Do this, that. Do not let that boy out of your sight.
Sarah telling that to Abraham?
I thought the woman's supposed to be silent. Why Abraham that said, shut up, woman, that's my son.
I told you I'm going to sacrifice him.
No, you didn't even say that.
No, I'm just saying. What if you would have said that?
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
It wouldn't have happened if he'd have said that.
She's like, hold on.
It wouldn't have happened. If he would have said, I'm
Abraham.
going to sacrifice him, he wasn't leaving his mother.
Right.
Sarah would have been like, no,
right.
you're going to have to kill me first.
Right.
That's the family.
Yes.
You want to start reading at verse 10?
It says, and Sarah said to Abraham, O my master, I pray thee, take heed of thy son, and place thine eyes over him, for I have no other son nor daughter but him. Forsake him not. If he be hungry, give him bread, and if he be thirsty, give him water to drink. Do not let him go on foot, neither let him sit in the sun. Neither let him go by himself in the road. Neither force him from whatever he may desire, but do unto him as he may say to thee. And Sarah wept bitterly, the whole night on the account of Isaac. And she gave him instructions till morning. And in the morning Sarah selected a very fine and beautiful garment from those garments which she had in her house, that Abimelech had given her. And she dressed Isaac her son therewith. And she put a turban upon his head, and she enclosed a precious stone in the top of the turban. And she gave them provision for the road. And they went forth, and Isaac went with his father Abraham. And some of their servants accompanied them to see them off the road.
Stop right there. Now, this is where it's about to get interesting in a little bit, family. And we're talking about when Satan attacks. And in the scriptures, family, if you just tuned in, we're reading from the book of Jasher, chapter 23. They took this story, they expound on the story of Genesis 22. And in Genesis 22, it doesn't even talk about Satan. It doesn't even mention Satan in that chapter in the scriptures. And we're going to see along the way how Satan tried to stop this thing from happening. So I just wanted to share that with you all.
Okay, where was that? 15?
16.
16. Okay. And Sarah went out with them, and she accompanied them upon the road to see them off. And they said to her, return to the tent. And when Sarah heard the words of her son Isaac, she wept bitterly. And Abraham, her husband, wept with her. And their son wept with them a great weeping. Also those who went with them wept greatly. Wept greatly.
That's deep, family. So, again, the mother's intuition, she kind of feel like something is going to happen.
Right.
She keeps crying like, my son departing from me. Something is just not right.
Yeah, I know. It's something that that intuition that we have as mothers, like how we can feel when something is off with our children, not just our children, just with our husbands, or like just somebody who's very dear to us and closely connected to us. We can feel when something is wrong, especially with our children.
Right, and that's so deep, and I think that's something that Yah has implanted in you, in women, and his daughters, because men, we kind of clueless to that type of stuff. It's
we
A, B, right.
It's something that Yah has put in us.
Yes, I've read stories that, like, I used to doubt this before, but it's like the woman's senses, like smell and stuff like that, it's much more fine-tuned than a man's. It's much more powerful than a man's. That's why when you say I smell something, I'll be like, nah, I don't believe that. But now after I read that story, I'm like, oh no, I don't smell nothing. But now I'm like, it's true. Y'all have different senses than us. But that's deep. The sense that she felt that something was gonna happen. Like you said, a mother's intuition, a parent's intuition. Sometimes two parents know. Parents can foresee things that's gonna happen that kids can't see. That reminds me of a story when I was a kid. I told you this a while back. I'll never forget this, family. I was at a funeral. And I was a little kid. And I'm guessing it was a son that died. And I'll never forget, I seen the father like sitting by the grave as he was lowering his son into the grave. And the father was just screaming. He's like, I told my son not to go. Why he went there? He just kept saying that. I told him not to go. And I was like, wow. I was just a little kid. I'm thinking, man, where he went? What happened? And I didn't know at the time what had happened, but it goes back to a parent's senses when something is going to happen. So I just thought that was deep, family. And y'all can drop that in the comment if y'all ever had a intuition that something bad was going to happen and it actually happened. That's deep, and that's what Sarah is going through in this instance.
Deep.
Yeah, 18.
And Sarah caught hold of her son Isaac, and she held him in her arms, and she embraced him and continued to weep with him. And Sarah said, who knoweth if after this day I shall ever see thee again?
Wow. See what I'm saying, family? That's what I'm talking about.
Wow. And they still wept together, Abraham, Sarah, and Isaac. and all those that accompanied them on the road wept with them. And Sarah afterward turned away from her son, weeping bitterly. And all her men servants and maidservants returned with her to the tent. And Abraham went with Isaac, his son, to bring him up as an offering before Yahuwah, as he had commanded him. So you
go ahead. I was going to ask you something, but go ahead. I don't want you to finish.
I was going to say how this right here, this is how obedient Abraham was. Abraham was like, I'm going to do this regardless of the what I'm going to get, you know, and like, I guess, like, regardless of what may happen after the fact, because he knew that his wife would be grieved. He knew it would hurt his wife.
Right.
This is why he couldn't tell her that this is what I'm going to do, because he knew it would break her heart. But he was so obedient to Yah. He was so obedient to where he was like, I'm going to do this thing, and nothing is going to stop me. And he wasn't going around telling everybody what he was going to do.
Right.
It was something between him and Yah.
Right.
But what you wanted to ask me?
No, that's deep. That's kind of what I was going to say too. This is how obedient he was. And again, we're going to read where Satan comes in and into all of this. So, yes, he was very obedient, listening to Yah. I can read this part. Verse 21, it says, And Abraham took 2 of his young men with him, Ishmael, the son of Hagar, and Eleazar, his servant. So, that's the time when Ishmael was still with them. Wow.
You see, they don't say none of that
No,
in the book of Genesis, in the scriptures.
Yes.
But on, you know, the book of Jasher, they expound more, which is where we're reading in the book of Jasher, chapter 23. If you all just tuning in.
Yep. And they went together with him. And whilst they were walking in the road, the young men spoke these words to get to themselves. Y'all listen to this, family. Said, And Ishmael said to Eleazar, Now my father Abraham is gone with Isaac to bring him up for a burnt offering to Yahuwah, as he commanded him. Now when he returneth, he will give unto me all that he possesses to inherit after him, for I am his firstborn.
Wow.
Listen to this.
So Ishmael, they knew about the burnt offering.
He must have told Ishmael and Eleazar what he was going to do.
And all Ishmael worried about is what he going to get now. Not the fact that his brother is about to go. Huh?
Listen. And Eleazar answered Ishmael and said, Surely Abraham did cast thee away with thy mother, and swear that thou shalt not inherit anything of all he possesses. And to whom will he give all that he has with all his treasures? But unto me, his servant, who has been faithful in his house, who has served him night and day, and has done all that he desired me. To me will he bequeath at his death all that he possesses.
That's what they were concerned about. Now Abraham taking them with him while he's going to do something that is grieving to him. And they worrying about what they're going to get.
Don't that sound like what happens today?
That's what I was thinking about.
Y'all know this stories, family. Y'all, I'm sure a lot of y'all experienced it.
Ooh, the
when
selfishness.
a death in the family, we're not worried about the person that died. Oh, what they got that I could get. And that's what these two are talking about. I'm going to get all his possessions. Like you said, he about to sacrifice his brother. And that's what you worried about?
Your brother's about to die. According to the, what Abraham was saying.
Exactly.
He's going to do a burnt offering. Nobody's concerned about Isaac. Oh my goodness.
Sound like what goes on today, huh, family? Y'all drop some examples in the comments.
It's sad,
We've experienced death in our families, so
it's really sad. It's not every family we've seen before where they had a family. It was so amazing.
Oh, right.
When the siblings came together, it was so beautiful. When they lost their mother, they came together, and when I tell you, they helped out, and there was no fighting, no bickering. Like their parents, they had both their mother and their dad, and their parents raised them to be so close.
That's awesome.
And some of them had some, like faults and flaws. Some of them had we noticed they were dealing with some type of addictions.
Right.
but not all. Some of them were, they seemed to be level-headed. But when it came to coming together, that was so amazing. Like me and Brother
we never seen that.
We
before.
had to tell them, this is beautiful. This is amazing what we see, because this is not common. It's sad, but usually when somebody dies,
everybody pick a side. And
it's
like nobody comes together.
Oh my goodness, things start coming out that you never seen before.
Right.
And everybody wants power and control. It gets crazy. It's sad, but it's true. I'm not saying that's every family, but we do hear a lot of stories and see a lot of this, and it's really sad.
Again, that's the attack of Satan, family. He comes to isolate, especially like you said, when somebody's dying, everybody focuses on self. What will I get? What's mine? What they left for me? Instead of coming together and like this family did,
exactly, and just letting everything be peaceful,
and let everybody mourn together, leaning upon each other.
Exactly.
Instead of Satan,
chaos.
Exactly.
Instead, it's chaos, and who did what, and everything start coming back from the past, and all kind of, it's really sad. It's really sad.
Yeah, that's deep, family. So, verse 25. You want to keep reading? This is where Satan comes into play, family.
It says, and with Abraham was proceeding with his son Isaac along the road, Satan came and appeared to Abraham in the figure of a very aged man, humble and of contrite spirit. Didn't it say that Satan transforms into an angel of light, and also his minions too, his ministers too, because he have ministers too. This is showing us that very thing right here. And what we say, how he operates in people.
We was just talking about that.
It says, appeared to Abraham in the figure of a very aged man. So now, aged man, if they come humble, you're going to be receptive of them,
That's an old man. He's not coming with any harm.
Oh, he's so kind. The older people are cute to us. So, but he said he came in the figure of a very aged man, humble and of contrite spirit. And he approached Abraham and said to him, art thou silly or brutish, that thou goest to do this thing this day to thy only son?
Wow.
For Elohim gave thee a son in thy later days, in thy old age, and would thy go and slaughter him this day, because he committed no violence? And would thou cause the soul of thine only son to perish, or cause the soul of thy only son to perish from the earth? So he's causing doubt and making him question, or trying to cause doubt and make Abraham question what Yah has commanded him to do.
You sure that's Yah telling you to do that?
What kind of Elohim, what kind of Most High would make you do that to your only son? And you old and aged like this, you think that's actually coming from the Most High, Yah?
The Most High would tell you that? That reminds me of like with Job too.
Right.
When they was questioning him.
Right.
Wow.
Yes, and then so it says in verse 27, dost thou not know and understand that this thing cannot be from Yahuwah? For Yahuwah cannot do unto man such evil upon earth to say to him, go slaughter thy child? So he's telling him, Yahuwah, that Elohim you serve, he's causing you to do something
wicked,
evil.
Right. He's just an Elohim of love. That kind of sounds like religion talk today, right?
Right. This is so evil.
Right.
You think he would actually tell you to slaughter your child? And Abraham heard this and knew that it was the word of Satan. They said Abraham heard. This is what happens when you have discernment and when you have, like we continue to say, that personal relationship with Yahuwah. Because you can be able to discern and know when it's coming from Satan or Yah.
When Satan attacks, family.
When Satan attacks.
He had discernment, like Sister Abigail said, to say, you know what? Nah, this is not from Yah. I know you operating in the spirit of Satan.
I'm not fooled by your appearance of being an elderly man.
Yes, and you coming wise and contrite.
You're humble. Not wise. humble,
Right.
so say. Definitely that wasn't no wisdom, because Abraham was like, I know this is coming from the word of Satan, he said, who endeavored to draw him aside from the way of Yahuwah.
Wow.
This right here is telling us the tactics of the adversary of Satan. This is his mission, to draw us aside from the way of Yahuwah. So every time we trying to walk that narrow path and follow the guidance of Yah, follow his commandments and be obedient to his word, Satan is going to come, and most of the time he's going to come in the form of people. He's going to, as you can see, this is what he did with Abraham. He's going to come in the form of people and try to convince us that what we're doing, you wasting your time. You believe in this? Well, look what you're going through. Well, look what you got to, look what you're suffering. You're dealing with some stuff, with some financial situations where you're not even doing too good in your finances. I'm saying he'll hit you on all, your children acting up. I'm just thinking of everything that we know that he attack you in all areas. Oh, your family treating you like an outcast. He started coming. Do you think this is really Yah?
Right. Absolutely. And we was talking about this earlier, and I was thinking about maybe we should name this title, this lesson, this. But the wordplay and we'll probably get flagged or something, but it's like Satan does a drive-by.
Right.
It's like he does a drive-by, family. You're walking along. Look, Abraham walking along the road, minding his business. Satan come out of nowhere.
Yep. That's true.
Take off. He comes stir up the scene.
Yep. Now
try to plant
everybody
that
in
seed
chaos.
of doubt. Right.
Everybody wilding out because they like, oh look, and everybody's in, just like I said, chaos. But he gone.
He gone. Now he done moved on to the next one.
The damage is done.
But the thing is can we be like Abraham and be like, I recognize who that is. Keep riding.
I see you.
I see you.
I see you. I know what I'm going through, but I know that y'all gonna carry me through.
You're not stirring up nothing here,
Satan. Not stirring up nothing here.
Go
I'm
down
to the next one. In my obedience. If y'all told me to do this thing, that's what I'm gonna do. And yep. So where was I? I think it was. I didn't finish 28. It says endowed. Let me see. It says he came in the word. No. It says and Abraham heard this and knew that it was the word of Satan and endeavored to draw him aside from the way of Yahuwah. But Abraham would not hearken to the voice of Satan. And Abraham rebuked him so that he went away. Yo! Whoa, this is deep. Powerful. You know how they usually tell us to resist him?
And he will flee.
And he's going to flee. This is
going back to Abraham. They say that in the New Testament. But this is way back in the days of Abraham. Abraham rebuked him.
He was like, I'm going to rebuke you.
Yes. So that he went away. He fled.
Left. So this is what happens when we rebuke him.
Yes.
When we don't listen to what he is trying to get us to do outside of the will of Yah. When we remain firm and we like, no, because you know what that is? That is our belief. That's strong belief. And one thing, and I said that one day we'll do something in the Shepherd of Hermas,
right?
So that I can find that scripture. But I do know there's a scripture. If any of you know what I'm talking about, to put it in the comments. I don't know if you know, but I do remember reading this one where it says when your belief is real strong, how the devil will flee. Because he's afraid of a person with strong belief. Well, listen to this. When Abraham was rebuking him, he fled.
And it's simple, family. A lot of times too, we think, you know what, the Satan he has more power than Yah. We give him more power than he really has. And really, all we have to do is rebuke him. Really, all we have to do is resist, family.
Yes.
We have to be strong enough to resist and not fold.
Yes. Absolutely.
That's the difference, family.
Absolutely. And it says, and Satan returned and came to Isaac. So now he's like, I can't get Abraham. So I'm going to Isaac.
Yep.
So, and this is how he works. Say he roams around like a roaring lion seeking whom he may devour.
And we say that all the time too. When Satan feel like he can't get you, you strong, I'm going to work through the kids. And who he went after? He went after his son. I'm going to work through his son.
I'm going to work through his son. And it says, and he approached Isaac and said unto him, well, I didn't finish it. Hold on. It says, and Satan returned and came to Isaac. And he appeared unto Isaac in the figure of, now this time, he appeared to Isaac in the figure of a young man, comely and well favored.
Wow.
Notice what he did. So for Abraham, he went as an
old man, as an elder.
I'm coming right, so that I can resonate with you. I'm coming like I'm an old man, just like you.
Yes, listen to my wisdom.
Listen to my wisdom. Now for Isaac, I'm coming like a young man, just like you.
Look at me, I'm strong. I'm looking nice. I'm well favored. Look at me. You don't want to be like me?
You don't want to be like me, Isaac? Because look what's about to happen to you. He said, and he approached Isaac and said unto him, dost thou not know and understand that thy old silly father, oh my goodness,
causing Isaac to doubt,
that thy old silly father bringeth thee to the slaughter this day for naught? What it says, the adversary is an accuser of the brethren. So he's accusing Isaac's father and saying, silly father. And Isaac had a strong bond with his dad. He had a strong bond with his father. So now he's trying to come in and sneak in and convince him that y'all are not really that strong. This silly father going to do a sacrifice. He's going to sacrifice you. About to kill you. He's about to kill Isaac.
You know what's about to happen?
And then he says, now therefore, my son, do not listen nor... Wait, no, did I skip? And he approached Isaac. Okay, I skipped. Okay, this is verse 30. And he approached Isaac and said unto him, dost thou know, do not under, wait, does, I read that. Don't, okay. Doest thou not know and understand that thy old silly father bringeth thee? Yeah, that's the one I read. Bringeth thee to slaughter thee this day for naught. Now, therefore, my son, do not listen nor attend to him. So he's telling them to be disobedient to your dad.
Don't listen to your daddy.
Now we know already it says honor your parents, right?
Yep.
And it talks about the importance of the son listening to the instruction of the father, right? The mothers too.
And the mother.
Yes. You know, but he's telling them to do the opposite of what Yah says in his word. So that's how we're able to spot it too. So it says, now therefore my son, do not listen nor attend to him, nor he is a silly old man. And let not thy precious soul and beautiful figure be lost from the earth. So now I'm coming at, look, your precious soul, your beautiful flesh. Yes. Look how he's trying to get rid of all
this flesh.
Right.
How you young? You still have a life ahead of you.
Look how he works. Remember what he did with Yahushua? When he said, I'll give you all the kingdoms of this earth. And then he told him too, when he was tempting him with the food. You remember? And then when he said, if you bow down and worship me,
I'm going to give you all these things.
I'm going to give you all these things. But wasn't it a temptation with the food too?
Yeah, if you was hungry and all that. Somebody, right, if you want bread or something like that.
But something. But I mean, I know he was tempting him same type of way.
Right.
And in 32, verse 32, it says, and Isaac heard this and said unto Abraham, hast thou heard, my father, that which this man has spoken? Even thus has he spoken. So now he's questioning his daddy and asking his daddy, you heard that, father?
But not only that, that's true. I like that part. And that's why we talk a lot about on this channel, especially like parents with kids. And we talk about society as a parent, if you drop the ball, that society, they will be happy to teach your kids the ways of this world. To say, you know what, I'm your God. I'm your parent. Follow me. And what I like about this story, what I like about this story is that Isaac, like you said, he had a strong bond with his father. And that's why we tell parents, especially that follow this channel, have close bonds with your kids. Talk to them. If you can, homeschool. If they're in public school, that's why it's important to ask, okay, what you learning in school? What they teaching y'all? When they watching television, what's that show you watching? What they talking about?
Involved.
Yes.
Be involved. Ask them how was their day? What happened at school today? What did you learn today? Be very involved. Very involved.
Like our kids, when they would see crazy things on certain TV shows, they'll say, you know what? That show was good, but at the end they try to put this type of relationship in. Y'all know the relationship we're talking about.
Right.
They snuck that in on the end. I'm like, you see, That's how they do.
And we've taught them to be able to spot these things. So if they see anything, then they automatically know. Look how they start talking more on, like Brother Rasha said. Look what they try to do. This is what they're doing, right?
Exactly.
So it's just, you know, and that be shows that appear to be decent.
That'd be harmless.
Harmless, and like when you were to look at it years ago, it would have been something that didn't have that type of stuff in it, and it was harmless. But now they're using, I guess that, you know, like the children who think it's still harmless to come in and sneak in, and they come in at the end, and then I'm gonna throw this in there.
But what I like about that, especially with Isaac, is that he went to his father.
Right.
He just didn't leave it alone.
Right.
He went to his father and he said, Dad, you heard what he said?
That's deep.
That's important, family. That's why it's important to talk and communicate and tell our kids, share these things with you. Let's have that open dialogue.
Making them feel like it's okay to come to you and talk to you. Not like they not
be
put
fearful.
them in fear to where they're afraid to come to speak to you about anything. You know, if y'all have that connection, then your children is going to come and share things with you that most children would not share because they're afraid to share, because the parent is going to be more reactive than proactive. You know?
Yes, and again, we saying when Satan attacks, Satan not just gonna attack mom and daddy. What he did in this story?
I'm going to
the daddy's too strong. I'm going to Isaac. And Isaac like, hold on, I'm going back to my daddy.
So Isaac was also obedient because he was like, I know this. Obviously, he was obedient because he knew the importance of going to his father and listening to his father's instruction. Because obviously he was listening to his father's instruction the whole time. He was doing what his daddy was telling him what to do. Telling him what to do. So now, Isaac is like, I'm going to my daddy.
Yes, let's keep reading.
And then he said, Abraham
verse 33.
Verse 33. This is the book of Jasher for all who are just tuning in. And it says, and Abraham answered his son Isaac and said to him, take heed of him and do not listen to his words, nor attend to him, for he is Satan.
Straight up.
He knew it.
Straight up.
And look, now, think about it. He came in the form of a young man this time, right?
One of his peers.
And look,
one of his peers.
Abraham, he just went and asked Abraham, did you hear? And Abraham said, for he is Satan. Endeavoring to draw us aside this day from from the commands of Yah.
You trying to turn us away from Yah.
Satan relentlessly does every day with us as believers. That is his goal. That's what he's like. He's relentless. The scriptures tells us that thing. And so this is what he is doing. And he's like, I'm not gonna stop. I went to Abraham, it didn't work. So now let me see if I go to Isaac, if it's gonna work. And Isaac, I'm going to my dad. Abraham said, no, this is Satan.
And like you said, I'm going to touch on that again. He said he used his peers. That goes back to our kids. Satan worked through their peers, family. Oh, look at this. Look at this on my phone.
Oh, yes.
Oh, I want to show you something on my phone.
How true. How true. He'll work through the peers, or make the child feel, especially if they're believers, they'll make them feel like
they're weird.
Oh, they're weird, and you parents is cool. Teaching you that. You sure you got some cool parents?
Yes, you're not in the in crowd.
Right. You sure you got some good parents? Because what good parents would make a child feel like that? Or like even for the holidays, but believe it or not, you'll have some children to do that to our children too. If they're around other kids, maybe at school or wherever it is.
Oh, you didn't get nothing for Christmas?
What? Oh, I got this for Christmas. Yes. And the devil will use those children just like he did here, right? Jumping in people, jumping in bodies, and he'll come in the form of somebody who appears to be your friend, appears that you're cool with, that you know, and make you feel inadequate. Like, man, what kind of parents would do that? You know how I got so much things for Christmas, and they're just talking about all of the different things they got. Oh, this, that. Oh, I got a new car. I got this. And then making the child feel like, man,
I lack. I don't have enough.
Look at what my parents doing to me. Should I even be in this old belief? Maybe something is wrong with this. And starting to get them to doubt. This is the devil. This is what Satan does. Anything that causes us to doubt the will of Yah, his commandments, and what he has called us to do, this is Satan. Or doubt what your parents in Yah is teaching you. Because think about it. Not everybody have parents that are in Yah. And many of us who are adults, some of our parents was not in Yah.
Right.
Training us in the ways of Yah. That's what we mean. So just think of it today, though. A lot of us who have children, I'm sure, some of you all might be in our age, older, whatever, or younger, but have children. But they also are being, like, influenced. Or, the world is trying to come in and make them feel inadequate and like, man, you on the wrong path.
Yep.
Come on here.
Come
this way. But, parents that's raising you and guiding you in the ways of Yah, they're not going to steer you away. Because they're being obedient to Yah when they are giving you instructions. So hopefully we have some young ones on here too. Or you can let them listen to this message, this teaching. But
absolutely.
Just wanted to add that. We on
that's
34.
Deep. Yeah, let me read the continue reading. That's so deep. Again, this is what happened to Abraham, happened to Isaac, and it's happening today. It's the same thing, family. And it says, and Abraham still rebuked Satan, and Satan went from them. Again, he rebuked them again.
That rebuke.
Get behind thee, Satan.
This is the key. The rebuke is the key.
Watch this. And seeing he could not prevail over them, he hid himself from them. And he went and passed before them. You notice it didn't say that he gave up. He just went. He went sit off somewhere. Like, man, I gotta think about this. I gotta find another way.
They're too tough for me. This ain't working.
I gotta come a different way. Oh my goodness,
I gotta think about it. Right.
And he passed before them in the road, and he transformed himself to a large brook of water.
Wait, what?
In the road.
What? So
he transformed into a large brook of water. So it's just not people.
Whoa!
It's just not people, family. Sound like this is a challenge, right?
This is a challenge.
An obstacle. He turns into obstacles, family.
So that's telling us that the adversary can also send chaos to you.
Yes.
It don't have to be just through people. He can make something happen to cause your fate to be shaken. Like, oh man, if I don't hurry up and just submit to this thing, I could die. This thing could happen to me. Wow, this time into water, so he could do that too. Woo!
And Abraham and Isaac and his 2 young men reached that place, and they saw a brook, large and powerful as the mighty waters. Wow. So they saw something look like some ocean waves and it's mighty waters.
Mighty waters.
Like, how we gonna survive this? And it just came out of nowhere. And they entered the brook and passed through it. And the waters at first reached their legs. And they went deeper in the brook, and the waters reached up to their necks. And they were all terrified on account of the water. Trying to shake their faith. Shake their belief.
How many of us would be terrified? We walking in waters to our necks. And we're on our way to do something for y'all.
Let me finish reading first. And whilst they were going over the brook, Abraham recognized that place, and he knew that there was no water there before. So Abraham like, hold up, man, I've passed it before. There never was water here before.
He was very observant.
I was going along just fine. So he recognizing, he's discerning. Nah, that's Satan. In verse 37, and Abraham said to his son Isaac, I know this place in which there was no brook nor water. Now therefore it is this Satan who does all this to us, to draw us aside this day from the commands of Yahuwah.
My goodness.
Verse 38, and Abraham rebuked him and said unto him, Yahuwah rebuke thee, O Satan, be gone from us, for we go by the commands of Yah.
Oh, what about when Yahushua says, do not put Yah to the test? This is the same type of thing Abraham did with him. He spoke to him, and he was like, nope, I'm not rebelling against Yah. I rebuke you.
I couldn't work through people. So now I'm going to come through this major obstacle where it's going to be life or death.
Right.
And I think we talked about this during the week. Didn't a couple of years ago we just faced the obstacle that was pretty much life or death? That's how it was sold to us. Mm-hmm. Do this or you're going to die.
Right.
Do this or you're going to die. Your whole family going to die. Mm-hmm. And the ones that didn't do it, weren't they ostracized? Didn't people look at them funny?
Oh, yes.
And they're crazy?
I done heard people having conversations right there in front of me about it, talking about the people who didn't do it. And I was like, oh my goodness, people don't even realize. I'm like, bless their little hearts. They was like, oh, the people that didn't do it, they were so selfish and this and that. And I'm like, what does that have to do with y'all if y'all went and do it? Y'all feeling like you all are safe.
And you protected.
And you protected. You talking about the people that didn't do it, they selfish? But that's kind of selfish to be like, let me group everybody with me. That they have to do the same thing I did.
Exactly.
When we all working out our own salvation. Which many of them wasn't thinking about nobody's salvation.
That. Their salvation was in that
jab.
And the government.
Right.
But that just reminded me of this story because weren't we getting along fine without a jab? Before it came and presented like we all going to die. Everything was fine.
Everything was fine.
That's what Abraham is saying. Man, I was going along here fine without none of this. I passed here 1,000 times.
Everything was fine.
Exactly.
And I just look at it was
clear. And I'm just looking. And now Satan, and now there's a big old ocean of water. And I'm like, this Satan, Get behind me, Satan.
Get behind me.
Just like what he did. He rebuked him. I'm fine.
He said,
you're not stopping me before Yah got for me.
No. And then the actual words he said, wait, what it says in Abraham rebuked him and said unto him, because the words are important. Yahuwah rebuke you. Rebuke you, O Satan. Be gone from us, for we go by the commands of Yah. Do y'all hear that?
How many follow the commands of the elites? Instead of the commands of Yah, when Yah said, fear not.
Fear not.
Fear not, family. That's attacks of Satan. When Satan attacks, family, we need not fear.
Yeah.
We rebuke him.
Right, and our protection is in the rebuke and continuing in the ways of Yah, keeping his commandments.
Absolutely. Verse 39, and Satan was terrified at the voice of Abraham, and he went away from them, and the place again became dry land as it was at first.
Wow. Do you hear that?
Oh my goodness.
Do you hear what happened when Abraham rebuked him and he stood fast in his belief? Yes.
All you got to do is stand up and rebuke him,
Rebuke him.
He gone.
Rebuke him.
What you just said, that scripture where it says, if your faith is strong, Satan is scared of somebody with strong belief.
That's showing you that is the truth. He is afraid because every time he's rebuked, he flees. So we know we're going to be tempted. We know these things will happen. That is what he does. This is why, like, while we on earth, we're going to experience that thing. This is why every day we have to fight off this evil impulse that's in us. But the thing is, that's why we often say he doesn't have as much power as we believe. Like as many people believe he does. We just give him power.
Yes.
He doesn't have as much power. It's our belief that affects the power. How much do we believe? Because if our belief is strong, then that power will work. That Yah, he said that. Well, in the word it says that Yah has not given us the spirit of fear, but power, love, and self-control. So we have the spirit of power. But many of us, we don't use it because of a lack of belief. This is why it's good to pray for Yah to give us that gift of belief.
Right.
So that when temptations do come, we can rebuke him. We can remember Yah's promises over our lives and continue to keep his commandments, knowing that if we continue on the path, we're going to be okay. I wanted to read this chapter, 1 Peter 5.
That verse.
The verse. Yes, the 1 Peter 5, and this is verse. Well, this is 1 Peter 5, the chapter, but it's from verse 8 through 11. It says, "Be sober minded, be watchful. Your adversary, the devil, prowls around like a roaring lion, seeking someone to devour. Resist him,
and he will flee."
Right. Resist him. Wait. I said he will flee, but it's true. That's what they're saying.
Right.
And it says, resist him firm in your belief, knowing that the same kinds of suffering are being experienced by your brethren throughout the world. So all of us in this walk are going through this. Every last one of us. But it's telling us to resist him firm in our belief. You all, this is telling us the power of belief. And then it says, and after you have suffered a little while, you see how he continues to keep going?
Right.
Look, okay, I went to Abraham, then I went to Isaac, now I'm using water. So it says, after you have suffered for a little while, Yahuwah of all favor, who has called you to his eternal esteem in Mashiach, will himself restore, confirm, strengthen, and establish you. To him be the dominion forever and ever. Amen. So I wanted to read that because this is what we've seen. We've seen him. He continues to keep going from one person to the next, but he keeps resisting. Abraham resists. Isaac resists.
Right.
And so I guess we can continue, but I just wanted to read that. Thought it was powerful. It made me think of that.
Yeah, that's a good one. Verse 40 says, "And Abraham went with Isaac toward the place that Yah had told him. And on the third day, Abraham lifted up his eyes and saw the place at a distance with Yah, which Yah had told him of. And a pillar of fire appeared to him that reached from the earth to heaven, and a cloud of glory upon the mountain, and the glory of Yahuwah was seen in the cloud. And Abraham said to Isaac, My son, doest thou see in that mountain which we perceive at a distance, that which I see upon it? And Isaac answered and said unto his father, I see, and lo, a pillar of fire and a cloud, and the glory of Yah is seen upon the cloud. And Abraham knew that his son Isaac was accepted before Yahuwah for a burnt offering. And Abraham said unto Eleazar and unto Ishmael his son, Do you also see that which we see upon the mountain which is at a distance? And they answered and said, We see nothing more than like the other mountains of the earth. And Abraham knew that they were not accepted before Yahuwah to go with them. And Abraham said to them, Abide ye here with the ass, donkey, whilst I and Isaac my son will go to yonder mount and worship thee before Yahuwah, and then return to you. So he's saying, y'all can't come, man. Y'all can't see the fire that's coming from the clouds. Right. So y'all not accepted by Yah. Right. And Abraham took...
That might be because of the way they was thinking. When they was looking forward to Isaac dying.
It says, and Eleazar and Ishmael remained in that place as Abraham had commanded. And Abraham took wood for a burnt offering and placed it upon his son Isaac. He took the wood and placed it on top of him.
Abraham I'm doing
and
this.
He took the fire. What? And he took the fire and the knife, and they both went to that place. Oh, so he's saying Isaac carried it up to that place. He didn't set him up yet to as a burnt offering. Okay. So he carried it up there. Okay. And when they were going along, Isaac said to his father, Behold, I see here the fire and wood. And where then is the lamb that is to be burnt offering before Yahuwah? And Abraham said to his son Isaac, saying, Yahuwah has made choice of thee, my son. So he's saying Yahuwah chose you to be a perfect burnt offering instead of the lamb. Y'all listen to this, family. And Isaac said unto his father, I will do all that Yahuwah spoke to thee with joy and cheerfulness of heart. Isaac got strong belief. He knowing that I'm about to be a sacrifice to Yahuwah. And he's like, I'm going to do it with a cheerful heart. Your will be done, Abiyah.
That is powerful. And you know what? That made me think of why Yahuwah tells us to raise our children in his commands.
Mm-hmm.
Because he did that, Isaac had the fear of Yah in his heart. He understood the commandments of Yah. He understood the adversary.
Right.
Because look how they say he did it cheerfully. How else could he do it cheerfully? Well, we know Yah would have to put it in him for him to, to give him that desire to serve him and to do this cheerfully. But at the same time, it's because he knew of Yah.
Absolutely.
He knew of him. He had a relationship with Yah.
And
a relationship with his father.
And he's like, I'm going to accept whatever your will is over my life. Family, how many of us would have the belief like Isaac?
You know how many children would have been probably fighting with their dad? And like, what are you trying to do?
What?
And this is crazy. And I'm out of here. And
once they would have known what was happening, I'm out of here.
I'm out.
I'm going back to mama.
I'm going back to mama.
Mama, daddy crazy.
What? If they wouldn't have run away from home after that.
Wow. And Abraham again, verse 53. And Abraham again said unto Isaac his son, is there in thy heart any thought or counsel concerning this, which is not proper? Tell me, my son, I pray thee, O my son, conceal it not from me. So Abraham is asking, like, son, how you feel about this? You got any problems with it? Let me know. Don't conceal it from me. Listen to what Isaac said, family. And Isaac answered his father Abraham and said unto him, O my father, as Yahuwah liveth, and thy soul liveth, there is nothing in my heart to cause me to deviate either to the right nor to the left from the word that he has spoken to thee. Now, when you say honor your parents, that's some honor, family.
What?
Woo! That's some honor.
Honor and strong belief.
He's like, I'm not deviating from the right nor to the left. And that comes from the scripture. That's Deuteronomy 5:32. It's when Yahuwah told the Israelites. He said, ye shall observe to do therefore as Yahuwah your Elohim had commanded you. Ye shall not turn aside to the right hand or to the left. So that's what Isaac doing. I was like, if this is what y'all say, I'm not deviating. I'm not going to the right nor to the left.
To the left.
This is what Yah says. Let his will be done.
Let his will be done. Deep.
Family, how many of us are willing to accept Yah's will over our lives? That's some strong belief, family. That's the type of belief we have to pray for. Whatever your will is, Father, I will accept it.
Yes.
Give me belief like Abraham and Isaac.
Right.
So that's why really the patriarchs came through him. The lines came through them because they had strong belief. That's why Isaac was chosen, family.
Strong belief.
Neither limb nor, verse 55, neither limb nor muscle has moved or stirred at this, nor is there in my heart any thought or evil counsel concerning this. This is Isaac, family.
Wow, he like, yeah, that boy tried to come talk to me.
What?
But that ain't gonna cut it. That's not gonna work
I'm not
with me.
moved. I'm not stirred.
No, Dad, this is what you said, Dad?
This is what Yahuwah told you?
That's what he told you?
Let's go.
Come on. A soldier. That's what you would call a soldier.
What?
Soldier for Yah.
Goodness. You want to start at verse 56?
It says, but this is the book of Jasher, chapter 23. Verse 56. It says, but I am of joyful and cheerful heart in this matter. And I say, blessed is Yahuwah, who has this day chosen me to be a burnt offering before him. And Abraham greatly rejoiced at the words of Isaac. And they went on and came together to place that to that place that Yahuwah had spoken of. And Abraham approached to build the altar in that place. And Abraham was weeping. And Isaac took stones and mortar until they had finished building the altar. And Abraham took the wood and placed it in order upon the altar which he had built. And he took his son Isaac and bound him in order to place him upon the wood which was upon the altar, to slay him for a burnt offering before Yahuwah. And Isaac said to his father, bind me securely. And he said, securely. Bind me securely, and then place me upon the altar, lest I should turn and move. What? Lest I should turn and move, and break loose from the force of the knife upon my flesh. Wow. And thereof profane the burnt offering. And Abraham did so. And Isaac still said to his father, O father, when thou shalt have slain me and burnt me for an offering, take with thee that which shall remain of my ashes to bring to Sarah my mother, and say to her, this is the sweet smelling savior of Isaac. But do not tell her this if she should sit near a well or upon any high place, lest she should cast her soul after me and die.
That's all deep, family. What struck me is when he said, bind me securely. Like, make sure I don't move a muscle. Right. That way I'm not trying to fight it. I'm not going to profane this burnt offering. I'm not fighting it. Make sure I don't move. Right. That's some strong belief, family. When he knows what's going to happen. Genesis 22 don't talk about that. Right. They don't talk about that. So it's going into a deeper dive of the story of how it actually happened and how they were committed. When Satan attacked, he tried to deviate them from Yah's laws, from Yah's commands, from what Yah told them to do. And Abraham and Isaac were like, nope.
Not happening.
We fear not. Get behind thee, Satan. I rebuke you. And that's what we have to do, family. And he's saying too, he's like, take my ashes and then give them to my mother. But make sure that she's not in the place where you know that it's going to grieve her. Right. It's going to grieve her. So just don't let her.
I guess he was saying too, because remember he said not near water or what he said,
like a cliff or something where she can kill herself.
Right.
She could take her life.
Right.
Because he knew how much his mama loved her.
Yes. What verse?
63.
You and me or you?
I'm going to read it. Okay. It says, and Abraham heard the words of Isaac, and he lifted up his voice and wept when Isaac spake these words. And Abraham's tears gushed down upon Isaac his son, and Isaac wept bitterly. And he said to his father, hasten thou, O my father, and do with me the will of Yahuwah, our Elohim, as he has commanded thee. So he telling him, hurry up, Dad. Hurry up. Get it done. Let's do it.
Get it over with.
Wow. And in the hearts of Abraham and Isaac rejoiced at this thing which Yahuwah had commanded them. But the eye wept bitterly whilst their heart rejoiced. So wow. So even though they was crying, they were still happy. They were still happy about what was going on. And Abraham bound his son Isaac and placed him on the altar upon the wood. And Isaac stretched forth his neck upon the altar before his father. And Abraham stretched forth his hand to take the knife to slay his son as a burnt offering before Yahuwah. At the time, the Malachs, which is the angels' family of mercy, came before Yahuwah and spake to him concerning Isaac, saying, O Yahuwah, thou art a merciful and compassionate king over all that thou hast created in heaven and in earth. And thou supportest them all. Thou supportest them all. Give therefore ransom and redemption instead of thy servant Isaac, and pity and have compassion upon Abraham and Isaac his son, who are this day performing thy commands. The angels saying, they doing what you commanded them to do. Show mercy upon them, Father. Right. They listening to you. They taking heed to your voice. And really what they saying is like, yeah, they passed the test. Right. How many of us will pass the test, family? Or will we fold like a cheap suit instead of resist Satan when he's going to tempt us, when he's going to make us doubt, when he's going to stir up trouble, put obstacles in our lives? How many of us will rebuke him? How many of us will pass the test, family?
And continue going, continue moving forward ahead, you know.
Hast thou seen, O Yahuwah, how Isaac the son of Abraham, thy servant, is bound down to the slaughter like an animal? Now therefore let thy pity be roused for them, O Yahuwah. At that time Yahuwah appeared unto Abraham and called to him from heaven and said unto him, Lay not thine hand upon the lad, neither do thou anything unto him. For now I know that thou fearest Yahuwah in performing this act, and in not withholding thy son, thine only son, from me.
That reminds me of our message last week. Whenever we were saying, we was reading that scripture when it says how Yah will test us.
Yes.
This is what that reminds me of. It was a test.
It was a test. And he passed with flying colors.
Yes. He said, now since I see that you fear me, and you was willing to do this very thing, you was willing to sacrifice your son for me, your only son for me. Like, I'm not going to let you do this.
Not going to happen. You want to start at verse 7? Go ahead.
And that goes to show, too, like how the scriptures tells us how there are really malachs. There's really angels that guards Yah's children on earth. That covers, that watches over us and protects us from evil. So it's important to know that, because we see this here with Abraham, and the scriptures also teach that we have angels that do guard Yah's children on earth.
Right. And we got a couple of more verses left, family. Again, we're reading the whole chapter, the book of Jasher, chapter 23.
We had to do the whole chapter.
Yes, it's so deep. It's deep, family.
Yes.
Go ahead. Verse 70.
Is 70? No, 69. 7? Okay. And then it says, And Abraham lifted up his eyes and saw, and behold, a ram was caught in a thicket? In a thicket, a thicket by his horns. That was the ram which Yahuwah had created in the earth in the day that he made earth and heaven. For Yahuwah had prepared this ram from that day to be a burnt offering instead of Isaac. Oh. And this ram was advancing to Abraham when Satan caught hold of him and entangled his horns in the thicket, that he might not advance to Abraham, in order that Abraham might slay his son.
Wow.
So he still was coming some more.
When Satan attacks, family, he come through people. He come through obstacles. He withholding. Abraham saying this ram was made from the beginning. It was supposed to, it been there to replace his son. But Satan withholding it. Satan's still trying to withhold the blessing that y'all have for him. Watch what Abraham gonna do. But that just reminds me too, like in this walk as believers, Satan gonna come in different forms. He gonna come through people trying to make us doubt. He gonna come through obstacles to make us doubt, to make us fear. Or we gonna pass the test. He gonna withhold blessings from us. He gonna try to withhold things from us. And what we gonna do? We gonna give up? Nah.
Right.
Satan got a hold of it. I'm not gonna fight for it. I'm not gonna grab it because Satan got a hold of it. But y'all already promised that to us. But I don't want to fight for that. We right there about to get our blessing, but we stop. Because Satan withholding.
Right.
That's deep, family.
It is.
We just got to work through these things, and I think you were saying that earlier. We have to persevere, family.
Yes.
That's what we're saying.
And keep resisting.
Persevere, yes.
Keep resisting. We have to.
Just as much as Satan is relentless, family, we have to be just as persistent. Like, I'm not dying. Like, what was it, Jacob? When Jacob wrestled with
yes.
He's like, I'm not letting you go until you get my blessing. Right. I'm not letting you go. So that's how we have to be, family. We can't give up. We have to be persistent.
Yes, and be strong when it comes to like belief.
Yes.
Be strong.
73.
This is 73, verse 73 in the book of Jasher, chapter 23. It says, And Abraham, seeing the ram advancing to him, and Satan withholding him, fetched him and brought him before the altar. And he loosened his son Isaac from his binding. And he put the ram in his steeds, And Abraham killed the ram upon the altar and brought it up as an offering in the place of his son Isaac. And Abraham,
I like this verse. Abraham was like, hold on, Satan, you withholding what Yah got from me? Give me that.
What?
Come here, give me that
You
ram.
ain't got no power
you ain't
over
got
me.
no power over this. Get
You
out
don't
of
have
here.
no power over me.
Flee, man. Flee
Yah
away
has
from
this
me.
power.
Yes, Yah been saying this ram was mine from the beginning, and you trying to stop him from coming. Nuh-uh. Move around.
Move around.
Let me fetch this ram and do what he's. Let him serve his purpose.
All right.
Let him serve his purpose. Mm-hmm.
All right. This is verse 74. And Abraham sprinkled some of the blood of the ram upon the altar, and he exclaimed and said, "This is the place of my son, and may this be considered this day as the blood of my son before Yahuwah." And all that Abraham did on this occasion by the altar, he would exclaim and say, "This is in the room of my son, and may it this day be considered before Yahuwah in the place of my son." And Abraham finished the whole of the service of the service by the altar, and the service was accepted before Yahuwah, and was accounted as if it had been Isaac. And Yahuwah blessed Abraham and his seed on that day. And his seed.
That's why he made the covenant with him. Like, your
this
seed,
is
yes,
why,
you will have
because of
more
that
seed.
belief.
Exactly.
That's what happened.
Yes.
Wow,
So
powerful.
y'all see how deep that story was, family. Again, Genesis 22, don't go deep like this.
This is powerful.
This is deep, family. And he got resisted all along the way. But listen to the end of the story, family. This is what we talk about too. Satan says, you know what? I couldn't work through you. You're too strong. I couldn't work through your son.
He was strong.
He was strong. But you know what? I'm going to go through somebody else.
Who y'all think?
Somebody missing out the story. And we saw, and I think you talked about this a lot of times. We talk about this too. A lot of times in our in this walk or whatever, just in this world, we turn things into idols. We make people idols. Yah says, put nothing before me. And if y'all paid attention at the beginning, we saw kind of who was an idol to someone. So without giving it away, let's continue reading.
What verse is that? Is it 75?
76.
76. It says, and Satan went to Sarah.
What? I thought he gave up. Where he went?
He went to Sarah. That's what he does.
You mean it didn't work on Abraham, it didn't work on Isaac. They didn't fear.
I'm not finished. He said,
He's
I'm
relentless.
not finished.
He is relentless,
He said,
family.
I'm going to Sarah.
I'm going to Sarah.
Finished.
Hold on.
And Satan went to Sarah, and he appeared to her in the figure of an old man, very humble and meek. Again, another old man, the same old man, humble and meek.
Yep.
Again, it's like he comes in the form of your age.
That's something, huh? Like your peer.
Yes. Yes.
Like your peer, because
Like
I'm
your
guessing if
peer.
it's somebody younger, they don't know what
They don't know what they're talking about. So I gotta make this make sense.
Yes.
And then so that just goes to show too, like for a younger person, I'm gonna come as a younger person because I can resonate more with you.
Yes, you my peer.
Right. Wow.
If an older person come to them, they don't know what they're talking about. That's an old fuddy duddy.
Yes. But if somebody seems to be cool,
yes,
more
in the
cool
in
than
crowd,
me, in the in crowd, and they come to me, I'm gonna listen a little more.
I'm gonna cause you to doubt. That's how he works.
That's how he works.
That's how he works, family.
So it says, let's see. He went to her. I'm trying to see where it was.
You can just start at 76 again.
76, okay. And Satan went to Sarah, and he appeared to her in the figure of an old man, very humble and meek. And Abraham was yet engaged in the burnt offering before Yahuwah. And he said unto her, doest thou not know all the work that Abraham has made with thine only son this day? Oh my goodness.
Drive by.
Drive by. Oh my goodness.
Sarah minding her business.
Oh.
I'm coming stir you up.
I'm gonna let you know.
I'm gonna let you know. I'm coming. And look, wasn't she happy? And I mean, she was sad, but she still was rejoicing when they left.
Right, and she still was hopeful. Like, she was like, I don't know if I'm gonna see him again.
Yes, but
she still was like hopeful. Like, well, hopefully
they're gonna come back.
Again.
Yeah, I'm gonna see him again.
But if not, you know. And he already knew that, oh, this is gonna break her heart.
Yes.
Because remember too, he listens to us. He listens to the words we speak. Do you remember what Isaac was saying? Mm-hmm. Isaac was telling his dad, make sure when you give her my ashes that she's not by water or high mountain.
Mm-hmm.
So what is that saying? That's saying she's going to be devastated to the fact to where she'll want to kill herself. So the devil knew all of this. So now I'm going to go and
I'm going to use what I know you love.
Y'all didn't listen to me, but I got to hurt y'all in some kind of way because y'all didn't listen to me. So now I'm going to go where it's going to hurt y'all. Right?
Yep.
So I'm going to go to Sarah. So it said, where 70, still at 70? Let me see.
77.
So it says, okay, verse 77, it says, and he said unto her, where I read that? Doest thou not know all the work that Abraham has made with thine only son this day? For he took Isaac and built an altar and killed him and brought him up as a sacrifice upon the altar. And Isaac cried and wept before his father, but he looked not at him, neither did he have compassion over him. Doesn't the word tells us that the adversary, that Satan is, he's a liar, he's the father of lies?
Yep, you're like your father's, you're like Satan, the father of lies.
The father of lies. You are, as it talks like about the devil, and how he is the father of lies. This is what happened, and this is what he does with us. He comes in the form of, I'm going to manipulate.
Yes.
I'm going to lie. And I'm going to I might bring a little, sometimes he may bring a little truth. So he brought a little truth just like he did with the Adam and Eve story, right? He brought a little truth because he did go to sacrifice him.
Right.
But the falsehood in that, the lie was that he killed them, that Abraham killed Isaac.
And then he said he didn't have no compassion when he killed them.
And Abraham was crying the whole time.
No, Isaac was crying the whole
time. No. Both of them, but I'm saying Abraham was crying at the fact that he was about to sacrifice his son the whole time. So I'm like, whoa, do y'all hear this? It's a pattern.
Yep.
The word is the truth. I just, every day I don't understand how people just they denounce this word and they don't believe in it. It is so powerful and it's so true. It's a pattern and it makes sense because we see these things happen in our very lives.
It happens today.
It happens today.
It happens today, family.
Oh my goodness.
And when I'm saying a drive-by, again, when you hear about drive-bys, what they come do? They come, shoot up the place and take off. And down to the next one. And look what Satan did. Verse 78. And Satan repeated these words, and he went away from her. Oh. So I dropped that on.
I'm going to say it again, too. I got to say it again.
And he repeated the words.
I want to make sure it sticks with you. I want to make sure, so I'm going to repeat it.
I'm going to hurt you deep. And he went away from her, and Sarah heard all the words of Satan. And she imagined him to be an old man from amongst the sons of men who had been with her son and had come and had told her these things. So
that's why we can't trust everybody.
You just said at the beginning that spirits operate in people.
We can't trust everybody.
Test the spirits.
Test the spirits. If it doesn't align with the word of Yah, then we have to say, And unless we know without a shadow of a doubt that it is true, then we don't take heed to that voice.
But unlike Abraham, when Abraham recognized, that's Satan. Remember, the same old man went to Abraham. Abraham, like, I rebuke you.
Resisted.
Get out of here.
Yep. I rebuke you.
I rebuke you. We don't see that for Sarah. She
but
didn't
you know
rebuke
what, too? She already planted in her mind before they left that she probably wouldn't see him again.
Right.
So now when she heard that, it's like, okay, but we'll finish read. I don't want to give it away. Some of you probably read it already. We don't know, but we know a lot of the people have not read it too. So it says in verse 79, it says, and Sarah lifted up her voice and wept and cried out bitterly on account of her son. And she threw herself upon the ground, and she cast dust upon her head. And she said, "Oh, my son Isaac, my son, oh, that I had this day died instead of thee." And she continued to weep and said, "It grieves me for thee, oh, my son Isaac, oh, that I had died this day in thy stead." And then verse 80 says, and she still continued to weep and said, "It grieves me for thee. After that I have reared thee and have brought thee up. Now my joy is turned into mourning over thee. I that had a longing for thee, and cried and prayed to Elohim till I bare thee at 90 years old. And now hast thou served this day for the knife and the fire to be made an offering? But I console myself with thee, my son, in its being the word of Yahuwah, for thou didst perform the command of thy Elohim. For who can transgress the word of Elohim, in whose hands is the soul of every living creature? Thou art just, O Yahuwah our Elohim, for all thy works are good and righteous. Wow. See, in the midst of all of that, she's still praising Yah.
Right.
For I also am rejoiced with thy word, which thou didst command, and whilst mine eye weepeth bitterly, my heart rejoicing. Whoa. So she still had belief too.
Right.
It just messed her up by listening to the voice of Satan. And Sarah laid her head upon the bosom of one of her handmaids, and she became as still as a stone. Oh, she died, you all. And it says, and she afterward rose up. Oh, I thought she rose. Oh, no, not yet. Okay, yeah, well, this part I didn't know. Well, they said that's a stone. Woo.
Right. So okay. She's just mourning so much.
Right.
It's
she
so
just
sad.
got stiff. Right. And then it says she afterward rose up and went about making inquiries till she came to Hebron, and she inquired of all those whom she met walking in the road, and no one could tell her what had happened to her son. And so now she's anxious, right? And she came with her maid servants and men servants to Kirith Arba, which is Hebron, and she asked concerning her son, and she remained there while she sent some of her servants to see where Abraham had gone with Isaac. They went to seek him in the house of Shem and Eber, and they could not find him. And they sought throughout the land, and he was not there. So she is going out and look to see if it's true.
Right.
And behold, oh my goodness.
Again, family.
Satan came to Sarah in the shape of an old man, and he came and stood before her and he said to her, I spoke falsely unto thee, for Abraham did not kill his son, and he is not dead. Now that's after he done got all worked up.
I didn't plan to see it already. Exactly.
And when she heard the word, her joy was so exceedingly violent on account of her son that her soul went through joy.
Her soul went out.
Went
joy.
out. Oh, okay, right. That her soul went out through joy. She died and was gathered to her people. So she did die, but this one was from joy. You know how they have people who die from grief.
Yes.
And we have seen it, like in family where someone died from grief because they lost a child. It really is the truth. That can happen. It don't have to be just from losing a child. It can also be from something that happened with a family member, that was grieving to the soul. But this stuff really happens. But you can also look at this. She died. She grieved for a while. And then he came back and said, hold on. You still searching? Wait up. Let me come back.
Yep, he didn't die.
Now, he didn't die. And she got so excited from joy that she still ended up dying.
What I'm taking from this, family, and you've heard it too, and it's kind of what you're saying, is that I mean, she was just an emotional wreck that day. First, she told me my son died. I've been grieving all day. Now I come back, you saying he's not dead. He's not dead. So you could just imagine all the stuff she was going through.
And she was an elderly lady already.
She probably just, from all the different emotions she was going through, just
That's
died,
really sad. Right. We know that eventually
from the
she would have to
excitement,
die because she was older, but the fact that that's how she died.
Right. It was some kind of like emotional.
Right.
Definitely was emotional. It was pain.
Emotional.
Right.
Well, at least she knew he didn't die.
Right.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
But it still was sad.
Satan, family.
Right.
When he attacks.
That's
why you see he planted that first seed of doubt in her head. He did his work. He did his drive-by. Now he coming back to say to try to fix it.
And then he telling her I lied.
I lied.
He telling her I lied. Boldly. I lied.
Wow.
But I'm still that old man coming. I lied. Woo!
Made her an emotional wreck.
Emotional wreck. It says, and when Abraham had finished his service, he returned with his son Isaac to his young men, and they rose up and went together to Beersheba. And they came home. And
And Abraham sought for Sarah and could not find her, and he made inquiries concerning her, and they said unto him, she went as far as Hebron to seek you both where you had gone, for thus was she informed. And Abraham and Isaac went to her to Hebron, and when they found that she was dead, they lifted up their voices and wept bitterly over her. And Isaac fell upon his mother's face and wept over her. And he said, O my mother, how hast thou left me? And where hast thou gone? Oh, how hast thou left me? And Abraham and Isaac wept greatly, and all their servants wept with them on account of Sarah, and they mourned over her a great and heavy mourning. Wow. That's deep, family. That was chapter 23. And again, Genesis doesn't cover it as extensive as this, family. It just says that Sarah died.
Right.
They never said why she died.
Right.
But we see here, it was a mixture of grief, joy, I mean, all kind of emotions she was going through. Satan planted that seed in her head. When he attacks, family, he is going to attack.
Yes.
We have to have that belief like Abraham. Have the belief like Isaac, family, that you know what?
Yes.
Satan, I rebuke thee. You're not going to block me from this path. You're not going to block me for what Yah has in store for me.
Right.
It's not going to happen.
Right. And just make sure at the end of the day that, you know, don't take everything for somebody's word unless you know it to be fact. Because now we see how he operates and how he can operate in people. It's pretty much sent on assignment.
Yes.
It's like an assignment. Because remember, he didn't stop. He went to each one in the family. I'm going to go to Abraham, then I'm going to go to Isaac, and now I'm going to go to the mother. He knew how they all felt about one another.
Yep. Absolutely. So that was deep. So, family, that was our lesson. We thought that it was important. When Satan attacks, fear not. Again, it happened to us. Trying to put out this message.
Right.
But we say, you know what? Yes. But
today.
we rebuke you, Satan.
We putting it out anyway. Even though we gotta push the time.
Yes.
It has to up.
It has to go forward. We're gonna keep walking according to the ways of Yah, doing what he commands us to do.
Yes.
We will fear not, family.
Yes.
We encourage that for you all.
Right.
When Satan attacks, he will attack, family.
Yes, he will.
He gonna come through people. He will come through obstacles. He will come through the things that you like, that you hold dear and precious.
He gonna come through your peers.
Yes.
He will come through your peers. We just seen a great example that tells us how he operates and changes in different forms. So how you know if somebody is really sent by Yah or sent on assignment is if they're trying to get you to rebel.
Exactly.
If they're trying to get you to do something that you know in your heart is not right, that can cause you to sin against Yah and his commandments, dishonor him, or even for children, dishonor your parents too.
Yes, especially for children. So parents, that's why it's important to talk to our kids, share these type of lessons with them. sharing these type of stories with them, because again, Satan will attack them too. He will not just come after the parents.
Especially if you in this walk. What you think he gonna do? Especially if he see you walking this hour, striving each day to do this. He gotta go somewhere else. He gonna still mess with you. But you're like, okay, I can't get you right now. Hold on.
Let me go through them kids.
Hold on. And the key is to rebuke him for the whole family, everybody. Rebuke him each time.
Each time. Because if that doubt festers, if it lingers, it's gonna keep building up. And we see that's what happened with Sarah. She kind of went out of the box. If she would have waited and trusted,
I just waited and said, "I'm gonna trust you."
Wait till they come back. Exactly.
I'm gonna wait.
But she went out and started looking for him and trying to taking things into her own hands,
which is normal too.
Right.
You know, that's what a mother would do. You know, like I'm just saying, you don't know for sure. Somebody tell you that, and then somebody tell me something. What happened? And they're acting all hysterical. But this right here is a good example. You know, in the power of just remaining calm and trusting Yah in the process. You know, I'm happy I read this. This is important because I'm talking about through anything that we deal with in life, where the adversary is trying to bring some chaos.
Absolutely.
It's calming down and trusting Yah through the process.
Absolutely. So, family, we're glad you could have joined us today. We hope this lesson was edifying. Yes. Please like, share, comment under the video, and again. Follow us on Rumble.
Yes.
Join our channel and brother Rosh and Abby, that channel.
Right, our
Rosh
new channel.
Yes, y'all check that out.
Rosh and Abby, you all. Also subscribe to that channel if you haven't yet.
Yes, absolutely. So, talk to you guys soon. And
all right.
Shalom.
Shalom. Love you all.